Good evening. Welcome to Injustice Investigations. I am your host, Al Scott. Love you guys big time. Thank you all for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. Yvette, love you. Miss Watts, love you. I see you. Something is going on because Miss Renfrey has been on timely. I'm very impressed. Consistency. Love you big time. We know that there there are a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people that are saying the release of Bill Cosby after being convicted was an injustice. Some are even calling for the system to lock him back up. Well, that's not going to happen. So you can quit wishing upon a star. That's not going to happen. And so tonight, I want to talk about the accusers. I want to talk about being hypocritical. We can't always, as I said last night, get things the way that we want them. Bill Cosby went to prison after being convicted. But before that happened, he had made a deal with a prosecutor. Basically, you all know what the deal was. Said blase blase or whatever, and we will not prosecute you in a criminal case. Good evening, Tammy. I love you big time. Faye, good evening to you. Thank you. Like J Rock is in the house. Hey. Appreciate you. So we don't want to become worse than the conduct we said we're trying to change. We don't. You don't want to do that. You don't want to become worse than the conduct of someone and that you say you're trying to change. The accusers, the public, that are now having sleepless nights and perplexing days. They are speaking, and Yvette and I talked about this earlier today. They are speaking. They are speaking from emotions. They're not speaking from the legal perspective of the issue with Bill Cosby. So that's why they all been out of shape. They're hurting. The system failed. The system has told women in this country, your voice don't matter, your body don't matter, because Bill Cosby was released from prison. I don't know if I said this last night, but I know I said it on Facebook today. If Bill Cosby had done a flat 10 years, I mean, he did his full sentence, and he was released, they would still have a problem with that. Hi, Pink. Good evening to you. Tawana, good evening to you as well. So, I mean, there's no pleasing the other side either way it goes. Before we get to the end, and I don't mean, I'm not trying to be ugly, but we have to get to a place in life where we once was victimized by someone. We have to get to a place in life to where I know it hurts, I know it's painful, but you have to get to a point in life where you begin to live before you die. You are the controller of your emotions. Nobody can heal you but you. Nobody can do it for you. Now, if these women have not healed by now, there is no healing for them. They don't desire to be healed. It happened. It happened. It's over. It's over. You still crying from spilled milk in 1948. You really need to see a psychiatrist about this, because right now you should be past the healing. You should be living, but you're not. You're just surviving. And when we do that, we become people of self-made misery. Nothing will satisfy us. Oh, they done me wrong. They did Jesus wrong. He got on the cross and got it over with. Deal with it. You have to get to a point to where you live before you die. That's just simple. Do you know how many people have wronged me in the past? There's an old gospel song that said, it said, Lord, I've been done wrong. I've been lied on. I've been talked about. But they don't tell the whole story. They're telling you what has happened to them. If they would tell the truth, they would end that by saying, but I too have wronged people and lied on people. The way some people are treating Bill Cosby, I swear to God, it really pisses me off. It pisses me off. Some dude was on Facebook today, Yvette was there too, and he pulled up an article, some off the wall media outlet. There was nothing the article had was facts. It was full of third-hand information. And the thing about third-hand information, whenever it's repeated, it changes. Some come out and something is added. And basically, I told him, you suck at doing research. Because when I do my research, we don't deal with third-hand information. We go to the source to get what we need. Felicia Rashad spoke out. And basically, here's what she said. Finally, an injustice has been made right. Basically, that's what she was saying. An injustice has been made right. Well, after that tweet, she has a backlash. She has a backlash. We can't get upset with people when they support people that we don't support or we don't like. This country is so damn sensitive. If you say something, if you're speaking your truth, they don't like that. Facebook don't like that. They censor you, they shut you down because you're speaking your truth. But so if I can't speak my truth, I might as well keep my mouth shut. That's a control mechanism. If you're on Facebook and it says this violates our community standards because some people may find this offensive, well, tell their ass to stop reading it or listening to it. That's simple. But you don't want to say this. You don't want to say that. You don't want to offend the Muslims. You don't want to mess with the Jews. You don't want to offend the whites. You don't want to offend the blacks. So I got to keep all my truth bottled up in me and I can't say shit. It don't work like that. It don't work like that at all. Felicia Rashad says, my post was not intended to be insensitive to their truth, talking about the alleged accusers. Spencer, I love you big time. Thank you so much. Gratefully appreciate you. She went on to say, personally, I know from friends and family that such abuse has lifelong effects. My heartfelt wish is for healing. So here's what she just said. Part of what I opened up with. It takes time, but you will never heal if you're not trying to heal. There's benefits from people agreeing with you and feeling sorry for you. You get something to a pity party. I can't do this. I can't do that. They'll pay your bills. They'll bring you this. They'll feed you. They'll take you out. And so you realize that, damn, there's benefits from me not healing. So what do? We stop if we was trying to heal, we stopped that. Lord, I just can't do nothing. No, how much do you like Bill? I understand. Agree with it. Most people, when we're talking about what happened with the Supreme Court and why the conviction was overturned, when they speak on this, they are not speaking from the law. They're speaking from emotion. It doesn't matter what the law said. They don't give a damn. I want it this way, and I want it that way. But that's not how it works in the legal system. That's not how it works at all. You're angry. You're pissed. You don't like Bill because he is a black man. If the DA back then was Bruce Castor, I think was his name, made a deal with Bill Cosby during a deposition. Good evening, Miss Davis. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So the deal is that let's talk. And you would not be criminally prosecuted. That's a contract. That's a contract. Now, I had to say that's a contract because of what's being said now. That was not in writing. That was not in writing. The prosecutor now says, I didn't know anything about it, period. I didn't see anything in writing. Okay, we wasn't in writing. But you didn't know. Because they said they didn't know, does it mean they didn't know? No. But here's what the Supreme Court said. I don't give a damn if it's in writing or if they shook hands or it's not in writing. That's a binding contract between the two. And I must abide by the law that I took an oath to uphold. We goofed, we messed up. And with that being said, whether we see signatures, whether we see documents about the agreement, it doesn't matter. We're the law of the land. I have to reverse his conviction. That doesn't mean that he was vindicated. It means someone not only went by the law, but has a heart. It's as simple as that. But now, here's what the DA said that made the agreement with Bill. Yeah, I did. He said his decision then was right, and the decision that was made yesterday was the right decision. He didn't deny it. He also went on to say, and there wasn't enough evidence to even prosecute him. So I mean, you can go in the courtroom with circumstantial evidence and win a case, and it happens a lot. But on certain cases, you don't want to take that gamble. You don't want to take that gamble. So the Supreme Court said today's DA Steele, violated the deal between Bill Cosby and Castro. They violated that. So whether they knew about it or not, the fact is, they violated it. But I really find it hard to believe that they didn't know. They didn't know. The accusers didn't know. I just don't believe it. They knew. But here's what they did. Don't you bring that shit up. Don't you say nothing. Because then you may walk. So that's withholding evidence, and that's illegal. That's illegal. One lady said, it's like I had been shot. I dropped to my knees when they said it was released. So if he stayed in there for 10 years and he was released and you still living and he got out, you again say you've been shot to the heart and you had to drop to your knees. There was at least 63 women that accused Bill Cosby of sexual misconduct. The majority of them are white. Who alleged that over years and years, Bill Cosby sexually assaulted them or violated them in some sexual way. Bill Cosby was sentenced to prison for drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea, the Muppet. That's an ugly woman. That's an ugly woman. That's an ugly woman. That woman is a new kind of ugly. It's ugly. Hell, I wouldn't do it, but if I did, I'm gonna give her a pill, one pill. I'm gonna take 3 just to get the shit over with and fantasize about her being somebody else as long as I don't raise up and look at her. She's super ugly. So if you're gonna let the fact that the Supreme Court overturned the conviction disturb any tranquility that you may have, then you don't give a damn about the law. And since you don't give a damn about the law, how am I now, if I wanted to believe some of the shit you're saying, how can I believe it now? Because you just told me you don't give a fuck about the law. It's about me. Lock him back up. So you would do illegal shit. You would hide shit. You would lie. These are nothing but a bunch of ugly, expired women, wrinkled, and just look like wrinkled raisins. And for Andrea, if a damn dog try to have sex with her, she needs to give God some glory. The allegations about Bill Cosby's sexual misconduct came about in 2016. And that's when all hell broke loose. Now, you can say what you want to say, but It is what it is. It's over with. It's over with. And you coming on TV saying, I don't remember her name, Yvette, the lady you told me about today, that said something. She said, oh, she was scared. I can't remember her name, but she said she was afraid of Bill Cosby. So she's afraid of him now. But when she was bagging that damn thing up, along with that white pill, she wasn't afraid. As a matter of fact, she was open. In other words, she was buck naked. But now she's afraid. He's legally blind. So what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? It's just a bunch of bullshit. Bill Cosby said when he was in prison, he said that they treated him nice, especially the medical staff. And he said, but what I'm most proud of, talking about himself, I'm most proud of about being in prison is that I was able to help so many men in that prison. So that says a lot about Bill Cosby and his character. We can do character assassination all day long. But that right there speaks volumes. I'm down. I can't help myself, but I'm trying to help others. And those that was blessed to meet Bill, eat with him, sail with him, whatever the case may be, I promise you this. And I told you that today. Some of those men are gonna come out of prison because one thing he said he didn't like, that some of the stories he was hearing, and a lot of them was from men who don't have no attorney. And whether guilty or innocent, if you don't have a paid attorney to walk into the courtroom, guilty or not, you might wind up doing some time. Because public defenders does not have funds to pay investigators to go and investigate the claims against you. But when you have the right paid attorney, that's what they do. They leave no stones unturned. I really believe that he's going to get some of these men the attorneys that they need. So it turned out, as R. Kelly would say, he might have been Bill Cosby, cursed on one end, but blessed on another. Mr. Scott, those women didn't need a white pill. One talks, and that's Ms. Watts, you just preached. That's it. That's it. That's it. They want to get high. And Bill getting them high. And this other thing, Andrea was in 2004, whatever. Allegedly, he took her to his home, and that's what they went down. Yeah. I don't like to see nobody done wrong. I don't. They can be white, black, male, or female. I don't like it when people deliberately manufacture stories or evidence to convict somebody. If the evidence are there, prove it. That's it. If there's none, leave it alone. Bill Cosby says he's waiting to get back into doing stand-up comedy. And surprisingly, some people have already been calling him. Now they know that it's going to be a backlash, but he's always been able to fill a stadium, and he's going to do it twice as much this time. We have to get to a process when we begin to heal. There's something here. Let me see if I pull up that I want to share with you guys. A lady, I think her name was Barbara Bowman. She's an actress. She said one of the things that keeps going wrong with this story is that people keep repeating information that's false. It was said that Bill Cosby, and someone asked me this last night on the live feed, I hope you hear. It was said that Bill Cosby was targeted because he was in the process of buying NBC. When in reality, he had explored such a sale in 1992. And in 2016, that's when the allegations was publicized about Bill Cosby's alleged sexual misconduct. Bill Cosby's rich, and that's why he's out of prison. This is what they're saying. He's rich. He's a celebrity. He bought that time. Well, that's super stupid because no one was paid. This is a ruling from Pennsylvania Supreme Court. So we're not gonna, say Bill got off on it because he's rich. I mean, and he is rich, but if he could have gotten off with money, then he wouldn't have done one damn day in jail. So we have to quit not only repeating information that's not true. We have to check ourselves with things that we're getting ready to say. Now, you think about that shit before you say it. We don't talk about Freaky Harvey Weinstein. We don't talk about Jeffrey Epstein. We don't talk about Trump, the allegations against Trump for sexual harassment. We don't talk about Charlie Rose. We don't. We talk about Bill Cosby in negative ways because he's a black man. Doesn't have anything to do with him being rich. He's a black man, and not only was some of his accusers black, but the majority of his accusers were white women. Black male celebrities like Cosby are often railed around when accused of wrongdoings. Black men unjustly accused and prosecuted in this country. History tells me that black men who are accused of raping white women have often been lynched. History tells me that black men who face the American justice system are disappropriated, incarcerated. History tells me that Cosby, a black man, had little chance of walking away from the accusations of dozens of mostly white women. History tells me that the Me Too movement may have helped ease the wheels that led to Cosby's conviction. The overturning of that conviction has reminded some of 1995. The 1995 trial of O.J. Simpson, who was ultimately acquitted in the murders of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ron Goldman. This is Barbara Bowman again. Basically, Bill Cosby is out of prison because he's got money. So a lot of times we try to think of something to say. to either uh, convince others of it or to convince ourselves of it when we hear certain things. Most people listen to respond when they should be listening to hear what someone is saying. But sometimes, even if something is right, if you don't want it to be right, you will conjure up things in your mind to prove that it's wrong. And there will be no evidence to validate anything that you're saying. Ms. Winfrey says, I always thought that Trump had a role to play in making the women come out because Bill Cosby said something about him running for president around the same time, but I can't be wrong. Yeah. You know, Trump has a lot of spirits in him. You remember the man in the Bible, and with the spirit, whoever was, asked him what was his name, and he said, "Legions, we are many," and that's Donald Duck. Donald Duck is a jealous individual. He can't stand educated, smart black men. So yeah, it's very well possible. But don't forget, this is the same guy who said, "I grabbed the pussy." Nobody talks about that. I grabbed the pussy. Nobody talks about it. So we're just gonna sit and beat up Bill Cosby because the Supreme Court said Bill Cosby needs to go home. You can be angry, but challenge that energy to the former prosecutor and today's prosecutor. That's what you do. You're angry with the wrong somebody, and you know that. But you're angry because this is a black man that allegedly put his black penis inside of white women. Don't forget the white women who bust their legs wide open knew that they was about to get a brown penis, and they didn't have a damn problem with it. But you have a problem with that. Most people will believe a lie before they believe the truth. That's because they like mess. They like mess. Yvette says, I can't remember her name, but she put on a show today. And that's what it is. It's a show. Tesla Davis, good evening to you. Welcome back. It's a show. It's a damn show now. And mainstream media is like, well, what can we do? I mean, he has to go back to prison because there was nothing in writing. The attorney come on there. Yes, he has to go back. Yes, because it wasn't in writing. Well, the Supreme Court said when the prosecutor opened his mouth and told Bill Cosby, blase, blase, and you will not face criminal prosecution. That's a binding contract. Somebody in the DA's office today knew about that. Didn't bring it up because they know the law, and they knew if I bring this up, the judge is not going to say, okay, let me take a recess and we'll figure out what to do. The judge is going to say he can't be prosecuted. We're done. We're done. Because if I don't do it, if the judge don't do it that way, now he or she is in violation. Ms. Watts says, I wish Bill could see them. They tried to railroad him, and that's what they did. The same system that made Bill Cosby what he is today, a filthy rich black man, it's the same system that right now is trying to tear him down. We have to get to a healing place in life when we can live before we die and just don't survive before we die. My mother had a plaque up in the dining room. I think it was 5 by 8 or something like 5 by 7. And it had pink paper behind it. And the words on that pink paper simply said, living well is the best revenge. Living well. Living well. And living well, you will remember you've done some wrong too. You know, it's even like when we hear people talk about the Bible and engage, that's a sin. And we don't dispute that. But when certain people speak out on that, they speak as if that is the top sin. That's a top sin right there. That's the biggest one. But the Holy Bible doesn't say that. The Holy Bible says a sin is a sin. If you're committing fornication, you're saying adultery, you're saying lying, you're saying. But in order to ease your mind and your mental state and give you some self-esteem about yourself, you find pleasure in downing others because their sin is out in the open. Your sin is behind closed doors. And any opportunity you get to put someone down, you will do it because that's like an orgasm to your ass. I suggest we all go and study the law. We should all go and study the law to find out, did the Supreme Court do anything wrong? But I can tell you now, they didn't. But people will believe what they want to believe. People will see what they want to see. So now we're putting together campaigns and stuff because this is an injustice. The people that are saying this are the same people that's okay with breaking the damn law. The attorneys know this, the judges know this, prosecutors know this. You're there to uphold the law. You're not there to break the law. No one is above the law, not even the law. So if you were okay with Bill Cosby being convicted on sexually assaulting Daffy Dick, Andrea, whatever her name is, I don't understand why you're not okay with what's right that's going on now. The Supreme Court found an error, a wrong, a bit wrong, and they reversed that. So I'm confused as to why that bothers you, because it shouldn't. Again, if he had stayed in 10 years and they released him, y'all would fought against that. And I think recently he went up for parole. We denied it. He didn't show no remorse. But look at God. While Bill was waiting, God was working. While Bill Cosby was waiting, God was working. So what do we do? Do we keep talking about this? Because it's not going to change anything. I don't care how many attorneys you put together. It's not going to change nothing. And if you're still hurting, Matt Lauer, Matt Lauer was a gentleman we were talking about earlier today. Thank you, Matt Lauer. So you are responsible for your healing. You are responsible for your happiness. It's not up to me or anybody else to make you happy. We can't even do that. Because happiness comes from on the inside. And that's something that's left up to you. You can live a miserable life until you die, or you could live until you die. Harvey Weinstein, Donald Duck, Matt Lauer, Jeffrey Epstein, Charlie Rose, and the list goes on and on and on and on. They did not keep those white men cases out in front like they did Bill Cosby and R. Kelly. They knew they had to say something. 2 or 3 days before they said stop. So that tells you a lot. They don't give a damn about justice. They do what they want to do. The same people that make the law will break the law. The same people that make the law and break the law will lock your ass up, and you may not have committed a crime. Yvette, my sister, says the system has backfired on them, and they're mad. If she don't say anything else tonight, during the live feed, she just preached. They're mad. They're mad. No one should be upheld in their wrongdoing. No one should. When I saw Bill Cosby on TV outside of his home, I got chills and I cried. You don't have to accept the decision. But one thing I know you cannot do, you cannot reverse that. And there's not a court on the land that will change it. They won't. Bill Cosby did what he did. He's paid his debt to society. So what do we do now? We back up and we let Bill Cosby live before he died. Here's what Andrea, the fly monkey, said in response to the rhetoric that the media keeps pushing. Bill Cosby never admitted in his deposition testimony or anywhere else to non-consensual sexual contact with any woman and or the drugging of anyone. He has never admitted to spiking drinks, as the media would like to tell. So I'm Bill Cosby. Hold up. I'm Bill Cosby. Andrea, I was horny. You were honey, and you wanted to get high. And I hope you take this the right way and don't come out back on me. But Andrea, there was nobody around that day. I knew what you wanted, and I knew what I needed. So that's why I fucked you. That's why. So, but what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna apologize. I apologize for doing that. I apologize for spanking you on your ass. But if I had been in my sound mind that day, you so goddamn ugly, I wouldn't fuck you for practice. I wouldn't. But I apologize. So what happens after the apology? Now the damn thing changes. He wasn't there. He showed no emotions. So what the fuck do you want him to show? Tears? Right now, if anybody should be shedding tears, say it with him, it's Bill Cosby. I'm glad you said that, Ms. Watts. She says, I wish a bill could sue them. Well, we do know that Bill Cosby said today, him and his wife are weighing the options. They are considering a lawsuit. And I don't know what, there's nothing else to talk about with me. Let's do it. Let's do it. Because the prosecutors today, they knew it. They knew it. But it's a get Bill day. It's the takedown of Bill Cosby. Now, mind you, there is an attack on Black men in this country. But now, let's make sure that we're explaining this thoroughly. There is an attack on Black men. But if you're raping women, whatever you're doing and you're Black, That's illegal. The attack on black men don't count for you because you doing wrong. You deliberately doing it. Deliberately doing it. If I haven't done anything, I don't have anything to say, I don't have anything to hide. I don't. But some people within our system have been doing wrong for so long, they now think the wrong they do is right. And it's in the system now, in their soul. They don't have a problem with lying in the courtroom. The same people that prosecuted Bill Cosby are the same people that withheld the evidence that would not have allowed them to prosecute Bill Cosby. It's over. And I'm speaking to Bill Cosby accusers. It's over. It's over. Leave it alone. Bill is enjoying life. He got his pizza yesterday, and he's going to see his wife. So, with saying that, when do we let people live? When do we shut up and we try to deal with our own anger, our own hurt? Getting on these TV shows, he did this to me. I can't believe he did that to me. I feel violated now. Really? The lady that was on CNN today said, I just want to ask him, why you do that to me? Why you do that to me? These were prostitutes, groupies, pill poppers, and freaks. They was well aware of what was going on with them. But they thought they would become filthy rich laying down with Bill Cosby. They thought that Bill Cosby was going to leave Camille to be with their trifling ass. But the movie didn't end like that. Now you hurt, you're embarrassed. And you should be. You should be. When is enough enough? You can't make people show you remorse and there's no remorse. And some people are remorseful for what has happened, but they don't publicly show it all the time or privately either. We do things in different ways. Bill is free. Move on. To God be the glory. I'm done. Only thing I have Bill Cosby and his beautiful wife. Amen to that. To God be the glory. Elizabeth says, Shalom, Scott. Okay. Are you just getting here, Elizabeth? Because we're about to end. You're late. So if I go live tomorrow, you're going to be in timeout, okay? Okay, listen, we got to get out of here. I'm sure we'll be back tomorrow talking about Bill Cosby and the legal system, you know. But they knew. They knew. They knew. But it's time to move on. It is. It's time to go on. Because you're just damaging yourself. You're causing yourself sleepless nights. One woman, when I heard it, I screamed. Some of them women could be nominated for an Oscar, but I don't know if they'll win. But they definitely can be nominated for one. Okay, here we go. Y'all know what we're doing. The Cash App, the PayPal. We don't stay on air for free. We have to pay bills. We do. And we need you all to please donate to the Cash App or the PayPal app on the Marquis Strolling by there because if we can't pay bills, then we can't do the show. It costs a lot to do the shows when you're serious about what you're doing, especially when we're investigating a wrongful conviction or somebody has called us to investigate a case. But we don't charge them because we didn't want to charge them. We was hoping the donations would put that bill. So if you like what we're doing, share the videos, tell others about it. If you haven't subscribed to the show, please subscribe tonight. Tap the bell so you'll get alerts when I go live. But it is imperative that we we receive donations to keep doing what we're doing. I love you all. You all have a good night. And remember, I am not always right and you not always wrong. Y'all have a good night.